The interview day with Jeanie Buss was a very big day for Graham because it was his birthday.
The idea kind of dawned on me, wait, let's bring Jeanie into the fold on this.
I very much remember how awkward it was because we're getting ready to start filming this shoot and Jeanie's like...
Before we get started,
Yeah.
I just had a question for you.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like, what's it like to be turning 37 years old?
I'm thinking to myself, what the do you mean, what does it feel like? And then Master Mueller brings out a birthday cake. Everybody starts singing.
Happy birthday to you.
And yes, I am incredibly awkward and self-conscious.
So Graham chose a very, very interesting shirt for this interview.
He dressed up the hamburger for his birthday. So I don't know if like Graham dresses himself or he hires somebody to dress him, but I don't know who thought it'd be a good idea to wear that in front of Jeanie for that interview.
Has anybody talked to him about not wearing that shirt again? Maybe I should do that.
One of the most interesting things about Jeannie's story is how her family is intertwined with the Lakers and the business of the Lakers, which obviously can be super rewarding at times, but the ugly side of that is what happened with Jeanie and her brothers when things went south.
My dad had told me, you know, I expect you, Jeanie, if a change needs to be made, I expect you to do it because you will have the authority to do that.
You know, I love my parents, I love my siblings. I would never, ever want to work with them, and especially never want to be the boss of any of them. So, I mean, all the credit to her for kind of navigating those tricky waters.
What did you learn about yourself when you're kind of fighting for your survival during that period?
Just, you have to have a small circle of people you trust, and you have to do the work.
One of the more awkward experiences happened with regards to Jeanie and posing for Playboy.
I literally, you know, probably receive, you know, 5 to 10 requests a week where people have, you know, printed the pictures and asked me to sign them.
Really?
And I always sign them because I don't regret taking the pictures.
When we were putting the show together, we wanted to have some photos, but safe for work. So I reached out to Playboy and asked if we could have some photos.
So Playboy reaches back out. It's like, we can do this with Jeannie's approval. So I shoot Jeanie a text and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna CC you on this if you wouldn't mind just saying cool. She's like, yeah, no problem. So
they send us some pictures, very kindly. I opened the first one up and it was everything. And my computer screen's pretty big.
Luckily though, they sent the tasteful photos that we could use.
Jeanie was great. Yeah, I was really surprised at how humble she was and just down to earth and didn't take herself too serious.
We're asking her to like show us some things in her office and she's like, well, I don't really know what to show you. And it's like, Jeanie, like these things are great. Like there's the painting on your wall that's millions of dollars.
This particular piece of work is now valued at, I believe, $15 million.
If you're ignorant like I am and you don't know a lot about art like I do, we set up lights by that painting and I was not careful at all.
He has championship rings. She's just walking around just like, oh yeah, these are all of our finals, our championship trophies, just right here in my office.
This is the first for Dr. Buss's ownership. So there's 11 trophies here.
I don't know why this thought occurred to me, but like I'm looking at all the trophies, right? And I'm like, oh, how many are in our crew? It's like kind of, oh, there's the same amount of trophies there on the shelf as members in our crew. Maybe Jeanie can like send us each home with a trophy? Like a trophy goodie bag.
Jay Mohr was awesome, right?
Jay was amazing. You know, we talk to spouses or significant others of our guests all the time, And Jay's really high on my list of just people, genuine people we've talked to.
Jay's my dude. Jay and I bonded over something very silly, which I thought everybody did because we do it so much, was we talk for our dogs.
Everybody has a dog voice for their dog, right? Do you have a dog?
My parents have 3
Did you grow
dogs
up with a
between
dog?
them. Oh, sure.
Didn't you talk to the dog in the dog's voice?
Not really.
Do you guys talk in your dog voice ever?
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank God.
That's like 80% of what I do now.
You talk to your pet in a certain voice. That's kind of like a borderline, you know, like how you talk to a baby. But I've never talked in a way that I thought my dog would talk, if that makes sense.
The Maltese speaks in French. I may have made that up. I'm not ready to do that voice publicly.
Oh, come on.
We're twirling in Paris, we're twirling in Rome. She likes to just wiggle like this. This is absurd.
I knew Jay Mohr from his early days on SNL and being in Jerry Maguire, and I didn't really know what had happened to him recently, which was he got addicted to prescription drugs, and he was in a really dark spot.
His life had become unmanageable, and you know, he knew he was going to die if he didn't get help.
She stuck by his side every step of the way. And it's really cool to see what that has allowed their relationship to now turn into.
I think every person at some point in their life needs help or support.
Like, I get choked up even thinking about it, like how at my worst she's seen me and stuck with me.
Jay and Jeanie talked a bit more about their relationship at the comedy club we went to with them after Jay did his set.
There was an intervention for me. Oh, anybody ever been at their own intervention? Anybody? Oh, it's the worst surprise party ever.
And that was, I think, really where we got the tender moments between them.
To see him embrace it and find the humor in it was so powerful and humbling, and I couldn't be more proud when he just, nobody talks like that. It's really, it's so important.
One of the really fun parts of our shoot with Jeanie Buss was getting to go to the Lakers home opener with her.
Phil used to say that when you start a season, you want to win 20 games before you lose 10.
From the second we got there, 2 hours before tip, to us rapping at the end of the night, we were constantly going.
Everybody had their headsets on. We get a message from our producer, Brett, saying, hey, Graham's trying to talk to Kevin. We're trying to see if we can get an interview with him. In my mind, I'm thinking, that's never gonna happen. I mean, come on, Kevin Hart. I mean, he's like an A-list celebrity.
Graham decides that he was gonna get an interview with Kevin Hart and wasn't gonna take no for an answer. Graham proceeded to go to Kevin Hart's seats, stand behind them, and wait as Kevin talked to different celebs such as Shannon Sharp, Lil Wayne, etc. And he held strong.
And finally, it's like the clock's ticking down before play starts. I'm just like, screw it. I'm gonna just walk on the floor over to him.
I get a message from Brett saying, hey, everybody get their cameras ready. Kevin Hart's about to come out. We're about to do an interview with him. I'm just like, holy shit.
What do you enjoy about coming to games?
Basketball. Look. Basketball, man. It's a basketball game.
As he was interviewing Kevin Hart, Mookie Betts, Dodgers star center fielder, just comes up from behind and kind of becomes a part of the interview, and Graham ends up in this like star-studded photo. That was surprising.